Hey everyone, welcome. This is Dawn with Sign Parties 101, and I am here today to talk to you a little bit about lasers. Now, I put a post out last week asking for questions that you guys had about lasers, and so that's what I'm going to go over. I have 6 questions that I saw on comments that I wanted to touch base on. If you have comments that you or questions that you think about as you're watching this, or maybe if you're watching the replay, something pops up, feel free to post it, and I will go back and answer those questions, because I know it can be so overwhelming, everything lasers. Maybe you're looking at upgrading, maybe you're wanting to start in the laser world, and so I kind of want to ease all of your worries and wonders and questions with just telling you my experience. So starting out, just to kind of give you a background of what lasers I've used, I started with a Glowforge Basic, then I went to a Glowforge Pro, and so I was using both, and then I ordered my Mira 9, but while I was waiting for it to arrive, I ordered an OhmTech 80 watt in the meantime. And so now I only use my Mira 9. I got rid of my Glowforges and my OhmTech because the Mira 9 does everything that I need it to. It's that much faster, more efficient, and the tech support is amazing. And so with that being said, that's kind of my background with what lasers I've run and so forth. So again, if you have questions as we're going through this, let me know. So, hey Karen, great to see you here. All right, so a question that I get a lot is, what are any additional items needed with the Mira 9? So again, I'm gonna speak from my own experience. I know there's lots of other lasers out there. There's the Boss, the Thunder, lots of other companies. I'm not gonna speak on those because I don't have any personal experience with them. I'm just gonna talk about what I use, what has worked for me, what I love, and kind of go from there. So additional items needed. So for example, a chiller or an upgraded air assist and all that. So with the Mira 9, you do not need an additional chiller because the chiller is already in there. So what the chiller does is it cools down the laser tube. And a laser like the OhmTech that does not have an internal chiller, so you do have to purchase an additional chiller to keep kind of on the outside of your laser because it's not included internally. If you go, I have a video on YouTube called how to do your first cut in your Mira 9 or in your Mira laser. It's it's literally me just holding the camera and walking you through the first cut. But you can see in there, that is when I did have my OhmTech, and you can see in there the chiller sitting next to the machine. This one, you do not need that because it is already included. It does have more powerful air than the Glowforge, for example, but I did choose to upgrade this with an outside compressor. And so I do have the compressor that I used in my Amazon store. I just purchased it on Amazon, and Aeon makes it so easy to hook the compressor up to the system. It's literally, you just like plug in a hose and you're good to go. And so I do have it sitting on, I don't know if you can see, sitting on the floor right there. That's the compressor. So that does help the air. It does help the air assist. So yes, I would say you don't need it. None of this stuff you need to, function. This comes everything that you need. But I would say to get the external air compressor just to help with cleaner cuts, and it's safer because you don't get the flame ups and stuff like that. So I like the air compressor. It does make a world of difference. Same with the OhmTech. I did the upgraded air assist for that, although that was way more complicated to set up, and I'll get into that in a minute. But but yeah, I would say the air compressor on that as well. So as far as I know, a lot of you that have a Glowforge, you have the inline fan, which is right there. You do not need it with the Mira 9. It does have an internal blower that helps suck out all of the exhaust and will push it through just fine. I do run my inline fan every once in a while when I feel like it needs to be, but you don't need it in order to run your machine. So keep that in mind. So no, there's nothing that you need additionally from what comes with the Mira. But the one thing I would suggest is an upgraded air assist, and that is basically it. The chiller's inside, everything that you need. A stand would be one other thing if you don't have, you can't really set it on a table because it's going to be up really high. My husband built our stand. I'm going to try to get it out of the way here. So there's the stand. So I keep some wood down there. Or you can purchase it from Aeon. They have a stand as well. But I know a lot of people make theirs. So that would maybe be the other thing that you would need. But as far as, hooking things up, the air compressor is all that I would suggest. So another question is, how often do you deep clean it and how long does it take? Well, the nice thing about the Mira is that it is not like the Glowforge where all of the parts are exposed. So the only thing that's exposed in the Mira 9 is the laser head and the gantry, really. Everything else is hidden away underneath the sides of the laser. So nothing important is getting dirty. I say you do want to clean, the lens every once in a while or your mirrors. I probably wipe it down maybe once a week. And now you guys, my machine is going hours every day and I'm cutting dirty stuff. You see my whole scrap pile, that was from today, of MDF. And so I'm cutting all the time messy, stuff, and I wipe mine off, and honestly it doesn't even need to be really wiped off. I just take it out and wipe it down, make sure I keep up on that about once a week, and that's really it. There's a few there's a few air channels in the back that sometimes will get kind of filled with dust. And I just, suck those out, or if the blower is on, I just kind of touch it a little bit and it gets sucked out. So you want to make sure, it gets kind of cleaned off every once in a while. But you can tell when it needs to be wiped off, and it literally takes me 3 seconds to just run something across it. And then the crumb tray in there on the bottom of the bed. I say we take ours out probably once every 2 or 3 months. And spray it off with a pressure washer. Some people take them to like a car wash or whatever, but my husband just takes them out in the yard and pressure washes it off and cleans the crumb tray. And then the blades that go underneath the crumb tray, we just vacuum it all out. And so, maybe once a quarter that we clean off the crumb tray. And it really doesn't, it is not like, I know it's hard to believe because coming from the Glowforge, I was cleaning the Glowforge lens after every single cut at the end. It just wouldn't cut through if it wasn't super clean. And so it was hard for me to understand that there was people that didn't clean their machine that often. And so it is not like that at all. Yes, you have to kind of keep up on it and vacuum it out if it gets really messy. But everything that's important, all the circuits and all the wires and all that stuff are on the outside of the machine, protected from all the dirty things. So none of that, really has any issues. So, okay, the next question was, what is the learning curve coming from the Glowforge? Really not much, unless you were going to design in Lightburn. Lightburn is the program that talks to the laser. So you're going to run your machine from the Lightburn program. Glowforge doesn't really have its own software, right? You just upload it to the Glowforge interface and then just send it to the laser. With lasers like Ohmtex and the Mira or the Aeons, they run off of Lightburn. And so for me, I design in Silhouette Studio, and that is what I'm used to, and that's how I save all my SVGs. And all I do in Lightburn is I open up the SVG and I make sure my settings are correct, and I send it to the laser. So, and again, I have that video on how to do your first cut in the Mira, and that can walk you through that. And it's really not that simple. I was so worried because if anybody knows me, I am not very technical at all. I don't like things that are overcomplicated. I want the simplified version, and I just want it done. I don't want to have to take the time to learn it and all that. And it really wasn't that big a deal. I uploaded the SVG. You know, just like on the Glowforge, you have to pick whether you want it to cut or score or engrave. Same thing. You pick your color that's on your file. You know, line is cut or fill is engrave, and you pick it and you pick your settings, which I can help you with, or there's lots of help in the Aeon Facebook group on settings and stuff like that. And then you send it to the laser. And so it's the same kind of thing. So there's really not a big learning curve at all, unless you're going to completely go and design in Lightburn. Then I would suggest you look at the YouTube videos in Lightburn because I don't know how to do anything besides write some text and make a box in Lightburn. But that's because I do all my designing in Silhouette Studio and then just upload the SVG. Carolina, that's my fear when I upgrade. Oh, just like the learning curve? Yeah, it's not at all. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's super, super simple. Watch that video and you'll see how easy it is. There really isn't much of a curve, in my opinion, especially if you're just uploading the SVGs. Okay, speed of engraving. So I had some graphics that I posted, I think like last year, kind of comparing the Glowforge, the Ohmtech, and the Mira as far as cut time, engrave time, and so forth. I did post in the comments under that question a real-time video of it engraving. Let's just say it is way faster. Like, so much faster. Like, I was used to, you know, the head like kind of going like this when it engraves, and now it's like this. And so like, it doesn't even compare. It's a lot faster. If you have a file that you want me to check, you know, feel free to email it to me and I will put it in Lightburn and see how fast the Mira does it. But yeah, it's not even comparable. So if you do a lot of engraving, it would be well worth it in time saved to upgrade your machine. Yes, Carolina, as long as, yes, you can still, that's all I use is Silhouette Studio. As long as you have the SVG file, you'll be just fine. I think it probably does read other types of files, but honestly, I don't deal with any of that. I like to keep things streamlined, super simple, and I just stick with SVGs and go from there. Okay, so what to look for when buying a bigger laser. Okay, so if you're wanting to upgrade your laser, let's say you have a Glowforge and you're like, I really need to get something bigger. What's something to look for? A few things to look for. Well, wattage is gonna be one thing. You're gonna see a lot of 80 watt, 60 watt, 100 watt. And what that really means is the power of the laser. So if you're doing a lot of cutting and you're using thicker material, you want to go for the higher wattage. You know, I think the Mira 9, you could get it at the 90 watt or the 100 watt. I just paid to get the 100 watt because I figure there's kind of the saying where it's like, get the biggest laser you can afford because you're not going to regret it. And so I just upgraded to the 100 watt and I love it. And actually they say with the Aeons, the 100 watt actually runs at 130. And so, and then the 90s run at like 110 or something. And so you're going to get a good wattage if you go, 90 to 100. But that's one thing you want to watch for is the wattage. The other thing is the bed size. So, the Glowforge, the bed size was about, the cutting was about, 18 by 11, give or take. Which is okay if you're cutting a lot of smaller things. For us that are, doing bigger things or bigger signs or lots of things, you want to look at the bed size. So this Mira 9, the bed size is 36 by 24. So I can fit a lot of stuff. This was my sheet. This is my sheet that I put in and I use for my Mira. My OMTech was, I want to say it was 19 by 27, maybe. So it was a little bit better than the Glowforge as far as size, but this one again is bigger. But I don't feel, I always say the Mira 9 for me is like perfect because it's not, yes, it's a big laser, but it's not like, we need to build a whole other shed just to hold the laser. I know once you get up to into the Novas, into like these big guys, great if you have a big commercial business and you're doing lots of blanks and lots of things in your laser, then yes, you need that. But for me, I wanted something bigger, faster, but not something that I felt like I had to build a whole other garage just to hold. And so I feel like this guy does everything that I need it to without feeling so ginormous, if that makes sense. So bed size, machine size, kind of just touched on that. Kind of figure out what space that you have and go with what your space can hold. This can easily fit in, it does. The one thing that I was worried about, because we built this office before I got this, it can fit through a normal door on its side. You will want to take the chiller out and you can put it on its side, although it is extremely heavy, so you're going to need help. But put it on its side and then it will fit through a normal door because I got it in here. But yeah, so machine size is another thing you want to keep in mind. I kind of touched on this, but where the important parts are they accessible for you to look at and stuff? And then also, are they enclosed? Because if they're open and they're exposed, they're going to get dirty and you're going to more likely have problems or issues in the future. So the Glowforge, everything was all exposed out there, and that's one thing I didn't like because all the wires and the motor and everything that I could see was always so filthy, and I knew that couldn't be good for it. And so so that's something to look for. And then also, which I feel like is almost more important than the actual laser itself, is the tech support. Customer service is so important. And if you've had a Glowforge and needed to contact customer service, you've probably run into some frustration. I know when I had my Glowforge, I think it might be different now, but they did not have a phone number. You could only just email them and then you'd have to wait a few days to get an answer back, and it's usually more of an automated response, and then you have to send in pictures and you're going back and forth for a week or two to figure out one issue or to answer one question. And I do have to say, Aeon USA has been extremely, like, I can't even almost put into words how helpful they've been. If you put in a support ticket, you will get a call back from their tech support. You will get, I had an issue right at the beginning, mine wasn't cutting an exact circle, and so I had to just figure out what to tweak. And they put me on FaceTime and they walked me exactly through what to do, how to do it in Lightburn, and boom, it was done. They have been known to, that if they can't remotely fix your problem, they will fly a tech out to you like next day to get it fixed in person. They will answer you at 1 a.m. I mean, they are constantly working. And it is just a small, handful of people there that work. I met them all in person last year. I was there. Aeon actually flew me out for their Christmas party last year, and got to just hang out all weekend with Danny, who owns it, and the sales teams and the tech support. And they really are just, you feel like you're a part of the family when you have an Aeon, which is, it's amazing. And yeah, if you have to contact customer support, I mean, they are on it. Their Facebook group, even if you're just kind of like, maybe I want to just kind of test the waters, see what other people say, join their Facebook group. It's Aeon Operators Group, I think, or something. And you will hear and see how responsive they are to any issues, questions. I mean, there's testimony after testimony after testimony of people just having a problem, question, needing support, and they are on it. So that being said, that for me, especially when I was so busy and I only had the Glowforge, time is money, right? And if we're not getting our answers that we need as to like what's happening, or why I want to do this, or this happened, or how do I clean this, it's frustrating because we can't work and we have customers that are relying on us, or parties coming up that we have to prep for, or whatever, and we can't really afford to be down. That's where the tech support and the customer service comes in top notch with Aeon. And I'm not just saying that. Yes, I'm affiliate with Aeon, but I'm also affiliate with Glowforge and OhmTech. So like, I'm not just saying that because I get a pat on the back, or, a referral or whatever. I'm saying that because I use this all day, every day, and that is my experience with them. That's been other people's experience too, and I just love it. I mean, you can contact, if you post on the group about anything tech, Jamie will probably comment, let you put in a support ticket. You can, I think Alicia is in my Sign Parties 101 group. Alicia is my sales lady over there. I give people her cell phone number. You can literally call her and say, hey girl, what are the promos right now? I'm interested in the Mira 9 or the Mira 7 or the Mira 5 or whatever. What can you tell me about it? And she will be more than happy to, to answer you. So Chrissy said, except they are wicked slow lately. Well, a hurricane went through. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it. And I know they are getting super popular right now. And of course, some things are out of their control as far as if people are questioning, how long they have to wait for lasers to come in. I know that if they had it their way, they would have all the lasers here at all, immediately, so you guys can get them and be out the door and running. But there's things like shipping across the world that, has some setbacks at sometimes that are out of their control. So, and weather and so forth. So, but overall, they have been absolutely amazing for me and anybody that I know that has had experience with them. So, yeah, so that's another thing to look for is the customer service. Okay. Okay, so what are your thoughts on getting an OhmTech instead of the Glowforge if you don't have the funds or want to purchase something like an Aeon? So that's exactly what I did. Although I already purchased my Mira, it needed something faster. I know a lot of you had talked about you don't want that lead time. You don't want to wait 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is currently. I waited a while. I think it was a good 6 months. I know they're trying to get it faster, and I think right now it's at 3. You can always call them and ask, but I did get the OhmTech. It was shipped to me in 11 days. And so that was the one thing that I was like, I'm drowning and I need help, and that's going to get to my house in 11 days. Cool. Sold. Done. The thing that I wasn't super prepared for was the technical ability that you need to get a machine like the OhmTech up and running. Again, I am not that technical, and neither is my husband. Thankfully, he was able to figure it out, but I have pictures, if you look back, that we literally, you have to install the laser tube, like tie the wires, put it all in, do some goopy glue, like whatever, like you have to install the laser tube. And then you have to, when we did the air assist, you know, you have to take all the wires off and redo them all. And it was very overwhelming for me. Again, I'm super glad my husband was able to just kind of take care of that. But it's not as smooth of a ride. I'll say it that way. Is it doable? Yes. Do people have them and love them? Yes. By all means, if that's all that you can do, I would start with the OhmTech over the Glowforge. I would just put that out there. But if you're wanting to eventually grow your business and get bigger and have more production, I would think long and hard about that before you do it, just to make sure, because let's say, I don't even know what they're at right now, but I'm just gonna say, let's say it's $3,500 for an OhmTech. And then in a few months, if you figure, or even the 6 months or whatever, that you wanted to upgrade from that, because it's not as fast, it's not as nice, that could have been $3,500 that you could have put towards a Aeon purchase or a Mira purchase. So really think long and hard about that before you do it. If you're in a pinch and you need something, yes, it's a great option, but you might be just as frustrated because you can't get it working like me. So I know that there's some people, because you contact me a lot, and different people that are like, hey, I have an OhmTech and here's my settings. What's wrong? I can't figure it out. Somebody did say that there was great customer service if you order it through the OhmTech site, which is fabulous. I love hearing that. That was not my experience. But so if you can find tech support and help and be able to walk you through that, then great. That's fabulous. I just know from experience, I was still really frustrated when I had my OhmTech. So, yes, it came so much faster, but it was much more of a headache to get it up, running, and stay running when I didn't really know what I was doing with that type of laser. It's very much like a DIY laser, like a, here's the machine, I hope you can figure it out, versus this guy, the Aeon, is much more comparable in my mind to Glowforge in the fact of kind of like a plug and play. Yes, there's a few more things. You have to put water in the chiller, align the mirrors, maybe. I didn't even align my mirrors when I got it. They were already aligned. And again, there's videos that walk you through every single thing that you have to do, which is so nice because I'm a visual person. I like seeing that. So it was much more, and then I was cutting right away versus the OhmTech. It took us days to get it set up because we had to make sure like we had all the wires correct. So it's two very different things. Again, people love the OhmTech. If you have more questions on it, I can steer you in the right direction on where to find those answers. But to me, if you're planning on growing your business, really think about investing. And I know it's a lot of money. It's, you know, it's scary sometimes, right? But you have to invest in your business in order to grow. And so, and I think the Mira is one of the best investments that you can make because of all the things that I said with tech support and the engraved time and the cut time and all that kind of stuff. So I think that was it. And one of the biggest things that I absolutely love that has saved me so many times that is different from the Glowforge is that if this shuts off or you know, blow a fuse or whatever, the power goes out, it will start in the exact same place as it shut off. So for example, I'm in the middle of a cut right now, but I had to come on here. And so I just shut the machine off. And once I'm done and I turn it back on, it'll go right back to where it was. So that is something that's different. And you can also open the lid and check it. Sometimes I will be on a cut and I'll notice, it doesn't look like it's in focus or whatever, and I'll open the top and check the nozzle and make sure everything is fine. And then I close it and just press start again, and it doesn't skip a beat. So that's another thing that's very nice. I know a lot of people are frustrated on that side with the Glowforge because you can't do that. You can't open the lid or the cut stops. So now I'm not here to dog on the Glowforge either. The Glowforge I feel like is great for people if you are somebody who just wants to make stuff for yourself or to make a few things for family and friends. I always think of like my mom would be a perfect customer for Glowforge. She likes crafting. She just wants to play with some stuff. She maybe wants to make things for a friend or two, and she has a little shop that she just kind of plays with, and with her quilting things, whatever. Perfect. I think the Glowforge would be great for her to just set up in her little quilting room and have something to play with. What I feel like it is not, it is a hobby machine. What I feel like it is not is for somebody who wants to start or grow their business, okay? So if that is you, if you want to start or grow your business, I would say save yourself the time and money and put that towards something that's going to allow you to grow and scale your business. Okay, so anyways, that is my first set of question and answer that I got. Now, if people watch this on the replay, or you have more questions, or I see more questions getting posted on the post that I did last week, I will make another list and come on here live again and answer those as well. Feel free to reach out to me. I will post Alicia's phone number, and they have different promos going on all the time, like, the free stuff. They'll include a camera, or they'll, include this or that or whatever. She can tell you what those are currently. She can give you the correct lead time right now. She can tell you the current prices, all that kind of stuff. So I'll post her phone number. Let her know that you talked to me, or that I referred you over. She'll take good care of you. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So again, if you think of anything else, let me know. And yeah, but I think overall, a laser in our business, in the creative entrepreneur world, there's so many things that you can do with it. Starting a tiered tray club is my most favorite that I've been doing. The board box opens up for new members starting November 1st. So that is also something that can expand your reach and your customers, and bring you money in every month. And so yeah, lots of things to consider, to look at. Hopefully this kind of answered a few questions for you, and we will talk to you guys soon. All right, have a great night, you guys. Take care.